Welcome to Detail Garage. Today we have a slick black sports car that was once driven by a lifeguard. And this car has a lot of scratches and swirls. So one of the most common questions I always get is how do I do paint correction on my car without a machine? How do I fix a lot of the scratches and swirls without using compounds or any kind of heavy abrasives or multi-step paint correction? So one of the things I tell them is, well, if you don't have a machine and you don't have any means of buffing off these scratches and swirls without compound, one thing you can use is Blacklight. Now, Blacklight is a glaze that fills in a lot of scratches and swirls with its advanced polymer formula. So Blacklight can be applied by hand or by machine. On this vehicle, I'm going to be demonstrating how to do it using both techniques. First, we'll start off by hand, and then we'll do it by machine. All right, first you get your Blacklight, give it a good shake. And you apply a few drops onto your applicator. And afterwards, you go to the surface that you want to work with. We're going to be working with the hood. You're going to work with the small area. So apply a few drops. Just kind of blotch it onto the surface. Now the trick to using a glaze is you want to ensure even coverage throughout the whole area. So what I do, this is my technique, I like running along the direction of the panel I'm working with. So the hood, I go from top to bottom. And to ensure even coverage, because right here is a little blotchy area that didn't really cover well by going one way, I do a cross-hatching technique. So if I start from top to bottom, now I'm going left to right, just to ensure even coverage, and I go back over a third time, going from top to bottom. And using this technique ensures that every area of this hood is evenly coated and covered. So Blacklight has a cure time for 15 to 20 minutes. It's a little cold in here today, so I'm assuming it's going to take around 20 minutes or so. So while this is curing, let's focus on the front of the vehicle. So the front of the vehicle, I went ahead and I did a test spot before we started this video. So I applied Blacklight. I taped up the front of the hood, and I applied Blacklight to the front end, and I did not apply Blacklight on top. I want to see how good and how effective Blacklight was going to be. And from what I can tell, the results, it's a pretty good difference. I hit a lot of the scratches and swirls in the front of the hood. It's a deeper black, it's a lot glossier. I can see my reflection in there a lot easier. And the areas that I didn't apply Blacklight, I can still see those deeper scratches. So if I were to bob my head back and forth, I can definitely see a difference from here to here. So Blacklight is a better alternative to a paint correction if you don't feel comfortable behind a machine using compounds, doing a multiple step paint correction. My advice to you is to go with Blacklight, hide and conceal those scratches and swirls, and get a deeper reflection. So that's the first way to apply Blacklight. It's a very effective way, very easy, very simple. So the second way is by applying it by machine. Now, when applying by machine, note that we're just applying it. We're not cutting into the paint. This quantum hex logic pad right here is not going to cut into the paint. It's just an easier way for you to apply Blacklight throughout the surface. And for those of you that are considering getting a machine, I highly recommend it due to the fact that you do save a lot of time. And I can do this whole hood in less than, I'm gonna say 30 seconds. So, first thing you wanna do is you wanna put your machine to the lowest speed setting. You wanna blot it out throughout the surface. And then turn on. So my camera guy informed me it took me a little bit over a minute to do the whole hood, which I'm perfectly fine with. I made sure I got the surface nice and evenly covered. And just this section right here took me a little bit over a minute and 30 seconds to do, which again, it's fine. But by doing it with machine, I was able to do this big, huge panel in a minute. So imagine how long it's gonna take me to do the whole car by machine. It's probably gonna take me less than 10 minutes to do. As opposed to by doing it by hand, it could take me anywhere from 30 minutes above. So doing it both ways, it's effective because the product itself does make its way into the scratches and swirls, it fills them in and makes the car look great. If you do it by hand, you could always skip arm day at the gym. So it's been about 20 minutes, now it's time to buff off and see what kind of results we get. So as I'm buffing off in long, straight lines. Just going back and forth, making sure I don't miss anything. Chose to use the Redline microfiber towel because it does have two sides. It has one thick plush side and it has one thin side. I like using the thick side to pull out a lot of the glaze that's been on here. It makes it very easy. So with very little effort, this glaze wipes off, revealing a very high shine. Hit a lot of the scratches and swirls, and this car looks amazing. So I got the rest of the vehicle to do. We'll see you guys next time.